So the producer Hit Boy got tricked by a fellow producer. So there's a video of him talking about how he got ripped off about a sample library, something where it said royalty free, and he ended up having to lose all of his money. So let's watch this video and discuss.
On Anti, I got paid $45,000 per track that I did. So I had like, $90,000 that came in, right? I think the pre-save came out or something. Basically, once the thing comes out, it's a random producer. I think he produced on some other stuff that's like, popular. I think he produced on I Got the Keys. I don't even know his name, but he basically approached my attorneys and said that I stole his sound. I stole his music. But I got that pack out of the royalty-free kit from, I traded kits with Don Cannon. Basically got into a place where half of that money, that $45,000, I had to give it to him. You know what I mean? And I had to give him most of the percentage on the song. So he tells me, you stole from me and da-da-da. And I just was like, what? I was like, bro, we could tap in and we could make more music. He like, nah, you stole my sound. I'm like, all right, bro. So I had to give him the $45,000 back. And I was just like, I was pretty like confused about that. Just like, he big dog the situation, I
want to talk about the sample pack conversation. We've had that in terms of royalty free.
We had somebody on the show talk about Hit Boy stealing from him.
Right. But
in a past episode.
But I want to focus on the other producer.
Okay.
So did the producer who sued Hit Boy make a crucial mistake by not nurturing a working relationship with him? Why or why not? Because we're looking at $45,000 versus a potential working relationship with a top tier producer. That's what I want to talk about. What do y'all think?
Depending on where you are in life, you want the money.
Good point.
But second of all, if you genuinely feel like you've been stolen from, like, I don't know if it depends on how, I'm not in that nurturing place sometimes. I was like, I need to pay bills today. What you used from me, whether you know it or not, has created a certain level amount of money, and I need that money. And so
it could have been a situation where they came to an agreement that I'm going to give you this much money, and then versus you taking a percentage on all of this music that you so-called claim I stole, we worked together on some stuff. But in the same token, is him saying or reaching out to this producer that he got this sample pack from, so-called, saying that let's work together, is that an admission of guilt? It's kind of where I'm at with it, because like I understand getting a beat or a beat pack with drums and things of that nature, which are already programmed, and you're just chopping them up how you see fit. But the way that he's saying versus give him that $45,000 and a percentage off of whatever songs that he's claimed that he used, let's just work together on some shit. To me, that kind of sounds funny.
What you think, Lo?
Yeah, to answer your first question, I think it depends on the situation. Mm-hmm. Like there is a scenario to where like the producer reaches back and says, "Oh, my bad. Let me give you a percentage because this is yours, or let me pay you for this because this is yours, and then let's also do some stuff."
Yeah, let's do some stuff.
The fact that he's saying that the producer wanted his money, and then because he wanted his money, that I'm not going to work with him, to me, that just makes Hit Boy look bad.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's saying that the producer didn't want to work with him.
Oh, he just wanted the money. He was like, "No, I don't want to." Because Hit Boy was trying to talk him into being like, "Look, man, we could work on some stuff, bro."
Gotcha.
Like, you see what I'm saying? Yeah. But he was like, "Nah, I want the bread."
Well, I guess, I would have to see, I'll be honest, I need to see the conversation from the other person's point of view.
That's fair.
I need to hear what they're saying. To me, this is Hit Boy being lazy. Number one, he admitted guilt because he said he traded packs with Dom Kennedy. If you are trading packs, that means you are not purchasing packs. That means you are not buying the royalty-free packs. You are trading theft.
I didn't think about that.
That's what you're doing. And,
pirating.
And most producers I know do that. So
I did not think about that.
I'm not guilty here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
From that perspective. But that's what that is,
And he just added a Cody by saying he got it from Don Kennedy.
Or Dom Cannon.
Don Cannon. Don Kennedy. I'm tripping. It was Don Cannon.
Don Cannon's like, hey.
Keep my name out this.
But also, sometimes, there's multiple layers of blame here, because this isn't necessarily just Sure. Did Hit Boy drop the ball? Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely. Because he
100%.
should know that what he's going through. And believe me, we have talked to producers on the show that have had this conversation about Hit Boy specifically doing this.
Yep.
And, on multiple records. And, so from one perspective, yes, it would be better to, I think, if the relationship can be saved, cool. But if somebody has a history of doing stuff like this, then it's kind of like, or if they've done it multiple times, or if it's on multiple records, or multiple people that this person has done some stuff from, why would you want to do business with that person?
You know what stood out to me too is the fact that he mentioned, I got the keys. So the producer that was reaching out must have been somewhat established.
Absolutely.
So he can also pay for the lawyers to come after him.
Yeah.
Because usually
the person doesn't have the money for the lawyers.
So Hit Boy, we're going to use him as an example because we've talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
He knows that everybody's not going to be able to come get me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
He knows that.
Yeah.
So he got burned because somebody actually had to paper the lawyer up and be like, nah, I want my money.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
No, for sure.
And
Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun.
At all. But I guess I'm thinking because there is a small portion of me that says percentage and relationship.
No, absolutely.
Because I know what that could yield moving forward. But
I almost want to ask you a very personal question about what you would do in a particular situation based upon some shit that's happened to you.
Go ahead.
Do we want to do that?
I know what's what
do you
you
want me to say names? I mean,
here's my thing with that, right?
Okay.
Here's my thing with that. I was so excited about everything that came with that, except for what I should have been focused on. That's youth. Oh man, I went to the store, I copped it, I got the poster, I got the t-shirts, I got the credit, I can vouch for it. Everything is real. Yes, this is what we want. Yes. And then you pull back and you're like, I really didn't get what I was supposed to get.
What about the
situation?
What about
man.
the other situation?
Yeah, we're talking about when a certain sound was stolen.
Oh man.
Oh, okay.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's the one that I was.
That's the one I figured.
Because you've never said anything publicly about that.
Oh, that's a classic. Yeah, we can talk about that. Yeah, that's a classic. So I was in Ice Standard Producers in Chicago. Rest in peace to my man Jay Hatch.
Yeah, rest in peace.
We got my man, he was one of our first winners, actually the first winner for Chicago ever. We had him come back and showcase his stuff. He got a new project coming out, but we call it Breakout. Y'all clap your hands for my dude, Major 7th, y'all. Let's go, clap your hands for Major.
And I won that event.
Mm-hmm.
So there were executives there that we give them a CD. I'll get back with you, man, if I hear anything.
Sure.
Right? And so time goes on, and I hear this record. I said, man, that sounds like something I had on that CD.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, no, I'll brush it off. It's cool. And I kept listening to it. I said, nah, it's too unique. I could pull up the old file. It's too unique. I know that that's what that is. And
let them know what song it is.
Oh, it's Diamond Girl, for sure. Yeah. And Ryan Leslie, yeah.
Yep.
They stole that from me. Facts.
It's impossible.
But my thing was, I have zero power.
Yeah.
So I'm like the person I was just talking. I don't have the bread. I called one of my boys who was a lawyer. He was still in law school. He said, Mike.
Then he wasn't a lawyer.
He said he's a lawyer now.
He was going to be.
He was going to be a lawyer, successful now. But I don't think he was ready yet. He said, Mike, I ain't going to hold you, man. He said, it's going to cost you, bro. I said, man, I ain't got it. He said, yeah. He said, this might be one of the ones that's just a lesson learned.
Or it'd be a situation where you find somebody, a lawyer that understands what could happen, and they be like, I'm going to take this pro bono because I know you
we
have
can
a
win.
case.
Exactly. I didn't have any connections like that,
Yeah.
so I didn't know.
The thing about Diamond Girl is it's such a unique record.
Yeah.
That's not
what you normally
It's not going to be
hear.
coincidence.
There's no coincidence there at all.
And I played it for him. He knows. He's heard it.
I've heard it in battles.
Yes, and I was like, yeah, that's me.
So break down the connection from who received the CD
Lenny S.
and how it got to the person.
Lenny S.
We're giving it up
whose
today,
name was
boy.
actually shout out on the song, right?
If I'm not mistaken, I can barely listen to that
Don't
record.
he say
man.
LES
No,
on there?
he says RLS.
Yes, RLS,
Yeah,
'cause
that's right.
yeah.
Ryan Leslie. Okay.
Yeah, I get mad when I hear it, so I never listen to that record. Shout out to Terry too. Terry was like, I never forget this, y'all. He said we was at Coach's. I think he wasn't spinning, but he was like, man, I told him the story. He was like, man, I don't even want to play that record no more, man.
Ever since
I've
you
never
told me
heard you play that
I've
record.
never played that record.
I gotta give him his props. He was like, man, I can't even play that
Never
record no
played it
more,
again.
bro. But nah, man, that goes to show you that you have to be careful, man. It's sharks out here, bro. So if you want to hear something, you want to watch something or experience something that's your heart drops to your shoes, hear your idea on the record, on the radio while you driving in the car. It will burn your soul.
You know what's crazy though? You might, cause don't music have different laws? Like if you catch on to it years later,
So the
can't
thing
you
is,
still come back and get
you
your?
can technically. So if Mike still has a session, which I doubt he has,
I bet you I can find it.
you know,
Might
On
be
an
able to
old
get
hard
paid
drive, I
right
bet
now.
you I can find it.
you know, like if there's video footage of him playing this beat in
Now
like
that I don't have.
like in an iStandard or something like that. Like if I happen to
Somebody
the
probably
recording,
got that video somewhere.
you know what I mean? Like because
Yeah.
it's too
Coincidental.
Too unique.
it's like
He know. Lone know. He knows.
You played it for me before.
I
though.
did.
Yeah.
I pulled up the session. Yep.
so
But I'm glad you asked. I've never told that story.
I didn't think you wanted to.
Yeah,
It's cool.
You do kind of make it like it's the boogeyman.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
as
cool.
far as like you'll talk to us about it,
Yeah.
Yeah, we
but I
grown.
feel like you don't talk to. It's almost one of those sore spots in your career
It
that
is.
you don't like to mention.
Almost 500 episodes later, we here giving it up.
because think about the butterfly effect here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine if Ryan Leslie's management or whomever, because you technically don't know what happened in that situation.
I have no idea.
right.
I have no idea.
Imagine if they did reach out to Mike. In the same when we talked to Il Brown. Imagine if Hit Boys people
Reached
or
out to
Mad
him.
Libs people
Yeah.
reached out and reached back. Then that's a potential butterfly effect of a career trajectory in that time. Mike was
Absolutely.
winning battles. Mike
Yeah.
was doing the things.
Bro,
it is like
He was trending upward. He had songs with Freddie Gibbs.
That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
back then, it's like that's the percentage conversation that you
Yeah.
talk about. Or we're gonna throw you some change, man. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take the change plus whatever the little credit is, and we're
Yeah.
gonna go from there.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Even though y'all whatever.
Yeah.
Just give me a little something. We'll call it a day.
Yeah.
But to get completely burned was painful, bro.
Nah,
that was
for sure.
painful, man. That was painful. But you live and you learn. You know, it is what it is. So take care of your shit.
Yeah.
Real
That's,
talk. Take care of your shit.
They'll be out here trading packs
Because they
thinking
will
won't
take
come
it
find
and
them.
run.
Well, so that was the other piece that I was going to talk about too, because from one perspective, your situation is different than this Hit Boy situation. Because, I mean, there was very much a time where that was what you kind of had to do as a producer if you're trying to establish. You had to have these CDs. You know, even Jay Dilla used to do this back in the day. Like producers did that.
Kanye West did this.
Yeah,
There's a
it's
whole
just
bunch
like-
of Kanye West beat tapes that wound up on the internet.
Yeah,
Facts.
it's like you would throw them to as many people as you can and hope that you get a hit. Hope that something stuck with somebody and that person had enough integrity that they would reach back
Yeah.
for that particular thing. That's what you had to do.
Yeah.
And so, you know, and shouts to iStandard because that was supposed to be, and it was, in some regard, it was trying to connect up and coming music producers with that industry side.
Their intentions were good.
Yeah, the intentions were there.
100%.
You know,
100%.
At the beginning.
two times.
From what I know.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know what happened afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, all respect due to Jay Hatch. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, like he's a cool dude. Met him multiple times.
Him and Don Dinopoli, those
Yeah.
were the two guys.
Yeah. But from the other perspective, from the Hit Boy perspective, like the royalty free stuff is very interesting. Like you have to pay attention. This is what Jackson knows this. Who's sitting over there. I told him from the very early, when we first worked on your first project together, you had a copyright hit on a sample pack you used. And we had to go back. I had to make you go back in and rework that because it was his original beat. He
Yeah.
was using an original sample or a royalty free sample, if you will. But somebody had already put that out and had already claimed the content ID on it.
There you go.
And so he had to rework that so he didn't run into any potential issues. And that's another side of this as well. It's like, you know, sample packs, you know.
I was actually going to ask one of y'all to explain to people how a sample pack works. Like, how can a producer use a sample pack without it being a situation to where, regardless of it being royalty free, that they don't get hit or dinged as far as
the thing is that different. It's not this like, I think the thing that a lot of producers don't quite understand is that it's not a blanket. Just because it exists on Splice or it exists in wherever you buy it from does not mean that the contract is same for every single one. Some people have 100% royalty free stuff. You can do whatever you want. Some other people have stuff to where like up until so many streams. Some other people have some, you can use this, but it can't be commercial. You can't use Content ID with it. Il Brown's situation was interesting because he had an exclusive deal with Native Instruments.
Yep.
And what happened there was they resold those rights, I believe, and sold them to Splice and uploaded them somewhere else where I think Hit Boy most likely came and went and got him or something.
Got him from there,
Something like that. So it was like one of those type of situations to where, yes, Hit Boy is kind of in the wrong to some degree because, but at the same time, you can also potentially chalk that up to just like ignorance and, maybe he could have handled the situation better with the people's stuff.
That's the part.
But from the other perspective, to me, the person at fault is the corporation of either Native Instruments and or Splice that put Il Brown in the situation to be exploited and to not be able to make money from something that could be potentially career changing. And don't get me wrong, Il Brown is an amazing producer and he has credits. Like he's got the credits out there. Go look him up. But like there's levels to this shit. Like Mike's got credits. Mike's done stuff, but like there's levels to this shit as far as like being really, working with a lot of these people and then that next level to where like it's,
you break through the glass.
Exactly.
Ceiling,
like you have residuals on a regular basis and type of stuff. And so from that perspective, it's like, all right, cool. Well, if you want to try to combat that, you're going against a corporation. You're going against Native Instruments and Splice and Hit Boy and all this battle, stuff. Man. And as somebody, so it's kind of I don't know if there's a contract involved. I don't know. Maybe this particular producer that Hit Boy is talking about at this point in time had the paperwork.
You know what's crazy though? There's a part of that video where he talks about, I had to trim it down just for the sake of time. Sure. Mm-hmm. But there's a part of that video where he talks about, man, I got the loop and I loaded it up and I signed it to pads and I chopped it up so it wasn't like the loop.
Yep.
Right. So he thought, I'm not taking the old boy's loop and just using the whole loop. I chopped it up and turned it into my own creation based off it being royalty free.
Sure.
Now, me looking at that situation, I'm like, okay, that should be cool.
Yeah,
that should be clear. Like you did your own idea with it. You just didn't take it verbatim.
Yep.
To me, that's fine.
Yep.
But the fact that he still got burned off that, man, that's either a good lawyer or there's some paperwork or something that I'm missing.
Or it sounded too similar to what it originally sounded like.
Or he simply didn't clear the sample.
That's it.
Like it can be royalty free up to a point.
Up until a point.
And sometimes producers do put the clause in there. It's like you can use it up to a point, but I need credit. I need points. I need my publishing. I need X, Y. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the music industry is a very interesting, hard to grasp industry. And if you don't have the right people around, then you're going to lose money or you're going to lose opportunities or you're going to get,
screwed.
That's why I do the stuff that I do.
So would that be considered, like we're talking about ghost writers? Are there ghost producers as far as I'm creating this sound and you're using it? I have a contract that states that you don't have to put my name on it.
Maybe.
But there's other, paperwork that says that you do have to.
It probably looks different now than it did.
Well, usually what happens is you look at it in the same way that you look at a session musician, right?
Yeah.
You can pay for this drummer to come in and play some stuff. And depending on that contract that you work with them, most likely, I always say you always get paid twice as a musician. You get paid from the actual recording of it, and you get paid from the intellectual property of the thing that you're creating.
So the back end.
No matter one. Well, they're both back end, but one is literally the physical recording of you recording something, and the other one is coming up with the idea. Yeah. And if you were the drummer that is coming up with the idea, and then you record it to something, when they pay you for that, they're paying for that recording. You still own that intellectual property of that of that drum, so you should retain your publishing, at least points of it.
So you can't keep using that same drum that I did on future songs unless I'm still getting paid for it.
Or more so, yes, because that's the recording, right? So again, like if it's just the recording of it, then you can use it for whatever that recording is, and I'll pay you $500 to come in here and record this. But what I always tell musicians and producers is like, look, you should always get paid from your publishing as well, because you came up with that. So yes, you're going to register, the song's going to go out, this person's going to put out, Hit Boy's going to put out this record with these drums from this person. He paid him $500. That person, that drummer no longer gets paid from any. Typically, what happens is that payment is so that the producer or the artist does not have to pay royalties for that. But you still have to pay for the intellectual property. That's where the publishing, that's where your ASCAPs and things of that thing comes. You should always retain your publishing if you make something.
So Clyde Stubblefield has gotten royally screwed.
Yes.
I'm talking about bad, bro.
For those of
That
you who don't know,
funky
that
drummer
is,
loop, bro.
Yeah.
That, you know how many times I ain't have to tell you. I don't have to tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the ones that you think about where it has been.
It's literally
everywhere.
the most used drum break of all time.
I would agree.
Say.
So technically, every time that they had to clear that sample from that, what song is that from? Is
Funky Drummer.
Is it from the
Originally,
Funky
from the Funky Drummer.
Yeah. Okay, so every time that break is used, that recording of that break, that somebody chops that break up, that recording, whoever owns that has to be cleared through them. So the Funky Drummer, if they use the drums, not only should Clyde be getting paid, but
He doesn't though.
right? But that's James Brown too, right?
Yeah, that's James Brown.
But also every other producer on that record, also the record label, everybody that's a part of that particular recording is ownership of that. And so if Clyde was just paid out of cash for whatever that was,
as a session musician,
and didn't retain his publishing, his intellectual property of it, then that $500 stops there.
That's it. Damn.
You know what I mean? So it's like, that's why you always have to retain that publishing, because if it gets reused again, you can go back and get new money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And plus you own it. It's the same thing with the Taylor Swift stuff. That's why Taylor Swift recorded Taylor's
her
version.
stuff,
Because she was the intellectual property owner. She made those songs. The record label owned the recordings. But she's like, well, I wrote the songs, so I can just record my versions and make double the money.
and that's what
Shanti was trying to do the same thing.
you see. There's a lot. Look, they Salt and Peppers re-recorded a lot of their records
As they should.
There's a statue
without
looked in-
spin. Oh, that's messed up.
Well,
but
I don't know about that.
you know, but there are newer artists like what was the guy who did the song "Take You to Bed"?
Jay Holiday.
Jay Holiday.
Well, that was written by The Dream.
He re-recorded that. You know, Alexander O'Neal is re-recorded, but the thing is, your voice changes as you age.
Yeah,
It's,
absolutely.
you know, so it's just kind of crazy. Where it's like,
But if The Dream wrote it,
He did write it.
he gets paid for both versions.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I mean, even when you hear the song,
It's like a cover.
That's definitely The Dream. when
It's
you hear
like
the
a
song.
cover. It's like
It's
a cover.
treated similarly to a cover.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
Yeah, interesting facts.
Yeah, man. Well,
but yeah, I don't know. I'm on the fence halfway and halfway with Hit Boy here. I think he should operate and do better business. And I think him being who he is, I think he should probably have better practices, and especially to protect himself.
You
And
know
then
what?
maybe he does now.
I think this record what's crazy is this record was a while back, and it kind of goes to the timeline of what we talked about with
Like Ills and all this
Ills,
stuff.
because it's very similar. And that's the first thing I thought about when I saw.
It was 2 Nas records, right?
No, this one, the one he's talking about was a
mean,
Rihanna
these are
record.
Rihanna.
But
That was her whole album, Anti,
No.
which was very successful. He's talking about Il Brown.
Il
Bill Brown was
situation.
Mad Lib and Freddie Gibbs.
But the other one was Nas and Hit Boy.
Yes.
And I think there was another. I think there were 2 Nas and Hit Boy
because
records.
I think he said he had 2 joints, 2 things that were used on what's the timeline? Bandana? Would it have been Bandana?
No. So he has his drum loop for Half Man, Half Cocaine.
That's what it is. Okay, yeah.
the trap drums. That's
yeah.
Il Brown's drum.
Yep, that's his. Yep.
Which, if you listen to that the first time, you're like, these don't sound like Mad Lib drums, because
At
they're
all.
not.
They're not.
You know.
He
And I
didn't
know Il Brown's drum.
He didn't get credit from that one either.
Yep.
Nope.
He did or
No, he
didn't?
did
He did not.
So that's why I mean, like,
Oh, game.
throw the solid out there. You know, like you can't advocate for artists and then be an artist and then see a situation where an artist is kind of getting exploited, even if it's you, and then still go again. Like you should be like, damn, I messed up.
Yeah.
Let me do the solid here. And regardless if the person's upset, because Hill Brown was definitely upset.
As
We
he
talked
should have
about-
been.
And
I
as he should
remember.
be. You know,
Yeah.
like I would be upset too.
Yeah.
And so would you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We got horror. Listen, we got horror stories out here, man. The moral of the story: take care of your business.
Yeah.
Because there's sharks out here. Period.
To the best of your ability.
To the
Because
best of your ability.
Like you talk about an ill situation, it was a matter of him per se. His music was with, or his drum packs was with a certain company, and that company
Facts.
got sold.
They dropped the ball.
Yeah.
Or
so-
something. I don't
or
know.
something happened.
I
Something
don't know
happened.
exactly what happened with the rights to that, but
Yeah. But trust me, we've been there. We've all been there, and hopefully these stories will help somebody. Pay attention, because probably 10 times easier to do this stuff now. So,
that's why a lot of producers too no longer even put any of their beats online, simply because somebody else can take it, and now you got AI's making
that
can take it, and now they're training the system to be you essentially.
And that's 10 times like that right there. It's one thing to take a sample or from whatever website you want to choose, and then do your own, what's the word, Lone? Interpolation. Is that interpolation of it? And then cool, it's yours, and then you make it move. That's one thing. But the AI part, taking your original joint, running it through that. Remember we were talking about that, a couple weeks ago? Mm-hmm. Where you were like, nah, I ain't going.
Yeah, I don't want that.
That right there, after watching some videos on it and seeing how easy it is to regenerate, that's damn near scary, bro. That's spooky, man. Yeah. That's me put into a computer, and it's like, this is what you sound like with all of the world around you.
Yeah.
That ain't it. That's not it.
And it's not it because of the exploitative nature of what it takes for AI to even come up with that stuff. Because I never paid it. Hey, man, I'm happy I got 3 of my students signed up on ASCAP this year.
Good. That's where they need to be.
We need to get Jackson signed up.
You definitely need it. No, the reason he needs it is because Jackson can make dope original music. Like, you definitely need to register yours.
Yeah.
For sure.
No, I went out of my way to make sure that they, because I had multiple students working on actual projects for their semester, and I was like, you know what? Most times producers skip the publishing piece. Mm-hmm. We're not going to do that. We're going to register that. We're going to learn about this stuff. It wasn't even part of the curriculum. But
look at Lone out here kicking the truth to the young black youth. We appreciate that. I just wanted to use that bar.
Some of them are black.
Thank you for giving back to the community.